I said salute to the untouchable True School Sports empire,
That's
taking
right, the
over
untouchable.
not only the South Florida boxing scene, but the worldwide boxing scene.
It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, Shakur Stevenson, he's the subject of a lot of hype in boxing. He has been for some time. He's a two-division champion. He's getting to that point in his career where he's filling out. He's now going to move up to one of boxing's glamour divisions, 135, the lightweight division. And with that being said, Bob Arum has a lot to say about Shakur Stevenson and how far he sees him going in the sport. He's even went as far as to say that he believes he could surpass the career of Floyd Mayweather. Now, we know Bob Arum likes to talk a lot. We know Bob Arum likes to promote his fighters, and he's good at promoting his fighters. The proof's in the pudding. But we'll get into that later on. Let's read the quotes from Bob Arum. He says the following, and I quote, "Talent-wise, he's magnificent." He says, surpassing Floyd, that's a long step. You have to give Floyd credit. He had a tremendous career. To surpass Mayweather's career takes a lot. Now, I think Shakur has the ability. Whether he wants to work as hard as Floyd did, both marketing himself and fighting, is up to Shakur. They're both great technicians. They can sit down and fight if they have to, but their boxing skills are enormous, both of them. Obviously, Floyd with his long career, but Shakur is demonstrating this fantastic boxing ability that very few fighters are blessed with, end quote. And yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely say, though, in his last fight, and I want to highlight this, Shakur Stevenson in his last fight against Robinson Conceição, it was very and I mean this in the worst way possible, it was very Andre Ward-esque, to where he was low blowing and fouling the living daylights out of Robinson Conceição. There was enormous low blows. The top ranked commentators, Andre Ward included, said little to nothing about it. Even my boy Tim Bradley, who I love dearly, but they didn't say much about the low blows. The referee didn't say anything about the low blows, and Shakur Stevenson was applauded for it. Now, I'm not saying that Robinson Conceição would have beat Shakur Stevenson, but I'm just saying this is a trend that I hope stops moving forward, because then I'm going to have to really call it out for what it is. But Shakur Stevenson can fight. He's a southpaw. He's got great command of distance, great command of timing. He's filling out. He can box. He can punch a little bit. And I'm happy that he's going up to 135, because he was significantly bigger than a lot of these guys at 130. And a lot of people were kind of demeaning his performances because of the size advantage he has. So now that he's going up to a weight class where he won't have this enormous size advantage on certain opponents at in the weight class, I really think it gives Shakur Stevenson the chance to prove the age-old adage of skills pay the bills. Because when you move up in weight and you're fighting these bigger guys who can punch and that can really hurt you and put a dent on you with one or two shots, then your skills become that much more important. Your ability to feint becomes that much more important. Your ability to probe with the jab becomes that much more important. Everything becomes that much more important because you have a smaller margin for error. Can he surpass the career of Floyd Mayweather? Now, to be honest, I think it's asking a lot, because how exactly, forget surpassing Floyd, right? How do you equal the career of Floyd Mayweather? Because when we talk about Floyd Mayweather, we can't just talk about the in-ring accomplishments. We have to talk about also what he did at the box office, what he did at the gate, because that's really what separates him from a lot of fighters, was the ability to, be a A+ fighter at the box office. Because there's a lot of A+ fighters in the ring, but they're not A+ at the box office. He was both A+ on both. So just to equal Floyd, I think Shakur need to, number one, become a 5-division champion, which means that he turned pro featherweight, which means he would have to win world titles at 135, 140, 147, and 154. Now, I like Shakur Stevenson. I really, really do. And I want that kid to succeed, because I interviewed him, and I I had a great interaction with him before he even went to the Olympics, and years later met him again before the Oscar Valdez fight. Same great interaction with him. So he's a you know, I have a soft spot for Shakur Stevenson, but I don't think he's going to be a 5-division champion. Honestly, I really don't. Maybe at the most a 4, maybe a 4, and even that might be pushing it. I just don't know if he has the size and the frame to go all the way up to 47. He doesn't have like the long, rangy frame of like a Devin Haney. Devin Haney, I feel like, will be a 47-pounder when it's all said and done because he has that frame. Shakur, I'm not so sure how far he can go after 135. I think 135 maybe is capped, maybe 140 depending on who you put him in there with. But I think to put that on him to say that he's gonna surpass Floyd, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think he's gonna have a great career. I think he's gonna be a very hard guy to beat. I think, you know, Shakur Stevenson, if I had to pick a young fighter in boxing who I think could retire undefeated, you know, he'd be my guy. You know, just because he seems to master distance from a very young age. He knows how to disrupt the opponent's timing. He can throw punches to the head. He can throw punches to the body. He can box. He can punch. He can fight. He can slug. And he can even do the Andre Ward dirty tactics if need be. So because of these things, everything I just mentioned, I feel like he'll have a chance to actually retire undefeated if I had to pick a young fighter. But Floyd Mayweather was A+++. People can say what they want about him. They can say he was boring. They can say, you know, he brought all of his fights to Las Vegas and there was corruption. And of course, there was some corruption. There's always some form of corruption when you're dealing with big-time boxing, especially in a place like Las Vegas and participating in venues like the MGM Grand. So obviously there was. There's no doubt about it. But you can't discredit the first half of his career when he was beating up on guys like Diego Corrales and doing it in sensational fashion. And if you do, it just really shows that, like, you're a miserable person, honestly. And you can't appreciate anything in life. So that's just my take. I like Shakur. I think he's great. I think he's on his way to becoming great. But I don't see him passing a guy like Floyd Mayweather. But you know what? It's definitely a hell of a task. And I would like to see him not just surpass Floyd, but surpass as many of the great fighters in history as possible. Because Floyd ain't the only fighter out there. There's many great fighters besides Floyd, better than Floyd. So yeah, you guys can leave a comments down below. What do you think? Do you think Shakur Stevenson will surpass Floyd Mayweather? Leave a comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.
Thank you for watching True School Sports.
No, follow this kid.
Oh.
You know, he's a true, it's a young, true, passionate person who follows boxing. He wakes up thinking about boxing and he goes to sleep thinking about boxing.
This is true.
Good kid, good man, and looking forward to seeing him everywhere in the boxing world.
Hey man, if you ain't subscribed to True School Sports, you fucking up, man. Make sure you subscribe, bro.
Fucking up big time.
Make sure, man.